Hello and welcome to another Dawn Around podcast. This has been an exciting week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's been very exciting.
Classic WoW has come out, and we've returned to a simpler time.
A better time.
A more, what am I looking for?
I'm looking for a classic paladin leveling guide right now.
A paladin leveling guide. The only leveling you need to do is within yourself.
So Classic WoW is live. It went live Monday. Yeah. And that's all I've been doing since. It is now Saturday, about midday, and that's all I've been doing is playing Classic WoW.
I'm pretty satisfied that even on my barbaric satellite internet out here, it still runs actually really well. I'm kind of in the 100 and 200 milliseconds, but I can barely notice for general questing.
Right.
I'm doing just kind of the starting areas here. It's fine. I don't plan on doing anything competitive, but so tell us, what'd you roll?
I'm Human Paladin.
Human Paladin. Mm-hmm. Are you enjoying it so far?
I'm enjoying it greatly. I did not ever play on my own account until Kata.
Oh, really?
And I played lightly on Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King on other people's accounts, occasionally growing up.
I can't remember. Why didn't you get into Vanilla WoW? Was it just area
out here?
Area.
Okay. The HughesNet wasn't even available out here, so it was it was pure dial-up. So it was unviable.
Yeah, 2004 was a different era.
Out here, definitely. I kept up with lore extensively because I've been a Warcraft fan for 24 years, since 1995.
That's kind of what I was wanting to ask you. Like, I don't think I know the events well enough to really give a good explanation of Warcraft 3. I actually can't wait till Reforged because I'm going to go back and play it. When I was younger, like, all I wanted to do, because Warcraft 3 came out I was in junior high, the only thing I wanted to do was send my guys to go beat up the other guys. Like, I was flying through the text, and 12-year-old me was not really caring about the story.
Which is a shame because there's a fantastic story in Warcraft 3.
Brought to light to me by the movie, really. The fact that they were able to take the Warcraft 1 game, translate it into that good of a movie, just really made me realize that, okay, there's probably a lot more to Warcraft 3 than I'm giving it credit for.
Yeah, Warcraft 3, there was a lot going on. There's a lot that happens between Warcraft 3 and WoW. I believe 2 years of game time passes. Really? I believe.
Are there novels or anything that go over there?
Tons of novels. There was novels back in the RTS days. Chris Metzen wrote one of them.
So, like, and going back to Classic WoW, what's actually your favorite element? Is it that you get to go back and relive the story, or do you just like the community that's coming
Absolutely,
out with it?
Community. It's a social game. People are grouping naturally.
Yeah.
Like if they notice you kind of farming the same mobs, you'll get an invite. You can send an invite. People talk to each other.
Right.
I looted a chest while I was doing not Jasper load, Jenga load, in Westfall, and I got an axe. And the dwarf that I was with, he was a hunter. He was just kind of like, nice axe, and I was like, hey man, you need it? And he's like, yeah, I'll give you silver. And I'm like, no.
Hey, don't worry about it.
It's fine. I just handed him the axe. He was like, hey, dude, that's awesome. And then this one guy's like, hey, you guys getting a lot of linen? And I was like, I'm getting a ton of linen. And he's like, can I have some? I gave him a whole stack.
Wow. That's actually nice because your first aid skills could have gone up. But you know what? You're looking out for your brother in arms.
Linen. Every mob drops linen.
Linen's
you'll get
pretty easy to get. Right.
It was nothing. And he made me a 6-slot bag.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Everyone hates me because everyone else has been making bags. I've gotten 2 6 slots off of mobs.
Wow.
They just dropped them. So
I've only got one extra small pouch. It's got me a 6. I think it is a 6 slot.
Most of them are going to be 6 slots. But the community, the fact that people are playing this game together.
Yeah.
The fact that while there are streamers and stuff that have rushed to 60, someone hit 60 yesterday morning.
Just yesterday. He had like 315,000 people viewing him. And you know what's crazy about that? He was trying to delete his character right after that, and the community was freaking out. All of his people watching his stream were just freaking out. And it was hilarious because if you send somebody mail, you can't delete your character. So all of these folks are sending him mail and whatnot, saying no, just spamming his account just so he couldn't delete that character.
You still have so much to live for. All the raids aren't even
I
out.
know. It was absolutely the guy on the bridge looking down, saying, this is it.
What
else do I have
What
to
was he
live
playing?
for?
I haven't even looked that up.
I haven't either. There was a bunch of folks watching it at work yesterday, actually, and they. I remember Ryan came over to my cube and he's like, "Dude, someone's half a bar away from 60," and just like our row lit up with people watching them and cheering them on.
That's hilarious that it was him. He's
Yeah.
excited. He's excited. He's back home.
Yeah, he liked it.
That's what it feels.
Ryan, you like it a little more than you might suggest.
That's what it really feels like. It feels like, and it's the hype surrounding it now. It's kind of neat because it's the hype I remember surrounding it at launch. Like it's almost indiscernible. Like we're just so. And Medson's Twitter's been blowing up. He's been kind of. Like I'll tweet everyone.
Yeah, that was interesting with you saying that he went silent on BFA.
I don't know that he willfully went silent on BFA. He just wasn't as tweeting as much now about BFA as he was when it launched. It's a little conspicuous,
makes you think,
right?
Yeah.
But now that Classic's out, he's like 6th level dwarf pally, and he talking about he keeps going back to the community, and he has pretty well admitted that the community's back. There is no community in BFA. You will get a guild invite, you'll join the guild, no one will ever talk to you.
I think Ryan told me it best. It's very theme parky. You go there, you get your ticket to go on the ride, you sit next to someone maybe. But you don't have to say hi.
There's no reason to talk to each other in a dungeon in retail. There's none.
No.
The mechanics aren't. If there are mechanics, I will concede this to you. I said the other day that there are no more boss mechanics. But you have to admit, if there are, they're simple enough to where you almost don't even need to communicate it. It might be a, hey, move over to the left after this happens.
They don't really come out unless you set the raid or the dungeon to higher levels.
I mean, in Classic, literally, people will literally have to tell you how fast to DPS. They'll tell you, keep your DPS under this. Mm-hmm. You guys move over here. You guys move over there. Like it's a thing. Like
because if you screw it up, and while that's really not too different than live, it's the fact that if you screw it up, it is absolutely maddening to get back to that point where you were at.
Right.
Like when you and I got wiped in one of those caves. Shoot, I can't remember. It's in Dunmarog.
Well, no, we were in Loch Modan. No, it was the Dunmarog. It was.
We got wiped. Yeah, and the spawn or the graveyard
was all the way back in.
Oh my God! It was
Felsamar, wasn't it?
I mean,
yeah.
I was sitting there watching the clock, and we spent probably 15 to 20 minutes just getting back to a spot to where we started drinking and eating to get ready for what we were going to do.
You actually have to sit in, like, healers have to stop now.
Yeah,
they have to stop and drink. That's a thing.
Two battles, forget it. My mage is done.
Yeah, my pally has to drink a lot.
I'm parched.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta make sure you got your vitamin water on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah,
absolutely. And that's really my favorite part because I never had my own account until Kata, so I never knew the community of WoW. I never knew the community.
Yeah, this one feels like I feel like enough things has happened to where people are going back and. The community is probably largely a person of a certain age, so they are putting a little extra icing on the cake that they had back when it launched.
And what's cool is casual players are all over the place because we have kids now, we have families.
Yeah.
So when you group up with someone and you tell them like, hey, my wife's hollering at me, every single time they're like. All good, bro.
Yeah,
go take
that's
care
fine.
of that.
You know what? I can do some engineering here for about 15, 20 minutes. That's fine.
But like I said, that guy that I gave my favorite story about Classic WoW so far.
I know where this is going. I
was in Stormwind. I was turning in one of those stupid little run this letter to Stormwind real quick quests you get in Goldshire, and I get into town and I'm asking the guards where to find these trainers, because in Classic, I think for Alliance you don't meet your mining trainer until Stormwind. There's not one in Goldshire.
You know, if there is one, I don't know where it's at.
Well, the guards wouldn't. It wasn't an option when I asked one of the guards in Goldshire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, I might as well do my secondaries while I'm here. And the cooking one took me to the Pig and Whistle, the tavern in Old Town.
Right.
And as I walk in, Old Town's always pretty silent because there's not really a lot going on there.
Yeah.
But there was 4 guys sitting at a table, and I go to talk to the cooking trainer, and they're like, "Hey, man, come have a beer with us." And it was all in say, so there's little. Speech bubbles.
Yeah.
And I say, "What do you mean?" And they just send me a Discord link, and I go and I follow the link and I join up. And they're like, "Do you have a beer in your fridge?" I'm like, "Well, of course I have a beer in my fridge." They're like, "Go get it and crack it open." I go and I crack it open. And I get on the line and I say, "Guys, what are we doing here?" And they're like, "What do you mean what we're doing? We're having a beer at the Pig and Whistle." And I went and sat down and we just talked about our game.
They're like, "Don't overthink this."
We were just talking about like our day. And WoW. And finally, we're on an RP server, by the way. When I made my character, it was the only one that had any space. Because I didn't really. I'll tell you the story later, but I'm on an RP server. Right. And we're just sitting there talking about it. And I said something like, "Man, I can't wait to get to Hogger." And one of the guys got like dead serious. He was like, "Lost a lot of good guys to Hogger about an hour ago. Don't take this light." He's like, "You go in there, you be careful, all right? Like, Hogger's a challenge."
Yeah.
You could solo him as a priest in retail. And
dude, I thought
he doesn't just sit at the end of a hill waiting on you to walk up. Like, you have to go and hunt Hogger. And but anyway, I left it. I said, "Guys, I'm gonna get back to playing." They're like, "Yeah, I got stuff to do too."
I found a level 11 Yeti and I was like level 9. I'm like, got it. No, Yeti wiped my face in the snow.
If you're farming mobs for a quest, you have to group up. You have to group again.
Especially for more difficult ones like that.
Right, and Hogger's an elite, of course, so you do have to group for him. And when I got, I took the wanted poster for Hogger, and I went and LN General. I was like LFG Hogger. And by the way, the LFG add-on for Classic, I am so glad Blizzard stepped in. Because all these organic moments we're having would not have been there if you could do a dungeon finder. Don't do that.
Probably one of my favorite. Right before you and I grouped up the other night and died shamelessly in that cavern, I entered in there and I was about to kill some bone snappers and I forget what the other one's, shadow skulls or something.
Splinter skull.
Splinter skulls. Yeah.
Skull splitter.
Skull splitter.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, so I'm going in there. There's a group ahead of me and they're bum rushing, trying to get through it, and they're cutting their way in. But I mean, you're looking around and you see one actually dies, and then I see one gnome. You know, in the sea of like dwarves and a couple of humans in there, there's one gnome, and I'm a gnome mage, and they run off onto the corner, and two of those trogs, they are trogs, right?
Yeah.
They follow her into this like little alcove, this dead end area, and she's like throwing spells out, but you can tell like now she's hitting them with their staffs. Okay, mana's gone, so you have to go in there.
She's in trouble.
And start hitting spells. Anyway, we fight them off or whatnot, and we're sitting there, we're both drinking. Anyway, an invite comes up, and she's like, "Hey, thanks for the assist there. What do you need?" And I'm like, "I just need 6 more of these skull splitters."
And that's another thing is when you like in retail, if someone comes by and like helps you out, they just sort of move on. And like in this one, it's like I don't care if you just randomly threw a buff out at me. Mm-hmm. Target chat /thanks.
Well, you know what's another thing that
it's like people are more polite. They look you in the eye when you're walking down the street. This is back when a man would shake your hand.
Yes.
If you did, and you know what? When you open that trade window, I don't always expect something back.
Well, and another thing, I don't think we've talked about this, is that if say you give a random buff to a person, you might watch that person phase out just because they got load balance to another realm.
That's gonna quit soon if it already.
I don't think it is in Classic. I've been like really hardcore watching for anybody that watched Biden.
The layering is not going to happen in the future. They're saying it's happening now. I shouldn't
say a different realm. They're still in the same realm, but they go to a different server in the cluster almost. They phase out of your instance of the game. It's weird.
I haven't seen that.
That's not in Classic. I haven't observed that in Classic. Oh, you're talking
about retail.
One's in Live.
Servers are clustered and they work with each other.
If you do happen to get in trouble and someone runs by you like in a cavern or something, there's a good chance you may not be able to talk to that person even if they wanted to help you out.
And there's in Classic this weird thing that people tell you about how they made friends in WoW. It's happening again. People are making genuine, actual friendships.
I'm waiting for
Warcraft.
the next like Classic Reddit post of somebody like saying they proposed.
Oh, absolutely, it's going to happen.
It's going to
again.
happen.
My favorite Reddit, it's our Classic WoW, right?
Right.
My favorite, that's the one Blizzard actually made for Classic WoW.
Yeah.
My favorite one on that the whole time is like when you try to fix the timeline, and it's that orc going like this, and the speech bubble above him, and he's standing next to Thrall. He says, "So then Sylvanas sent assassins to kill you." And that's another thing is. It's all correct again. Like the undead, if you look at their little blurb, it's like the undead are only in the Horde for political advantage. They don't care about the Horde. Like in your little opening movie, because a buddy of mine who desperately wants me to play Horde,
Right.
because I made a warlock for that reason,
Right.
he wanted to give me some bags. I'm like, I'm not going to say no to bags on a level 1 toon. I may play one day.
Sure.
So I got on and I ran out of the crypt into Death Knell real quick. And he came up and gave me the bags. But the opening movie for the undead, it's so expressive and good. Like it's
you like
so
it? Okay.
good. I don't hate the Horde. I just prefer I like all of Warcraft.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
prefer Alliance.
Right.
The the Horde's fine. They're all right.
Yeah.
But
you would naturally play an orc though.
Oh, I would absolutely play an orc shaman before an undead warlock, but I love the orcs. The boys are in the other room playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. Which,
Look for that review.
Look for a review and a cast on that because
Yeah.
I just watched about 5 minutes of it and it's incredible. If I wasn't in the middle of Classic hype, I'd be going to Walmart right after this.
But hey, you know what is good about it? You got all the time in the world.
That's another thing about Classic is there are people are just genuinely enjoying Azeroth.
Yeah.
For those of you who follow the Facebook page, you may have noticed I ran my Paladin into a Stormwind. You have to walk to Stormwind your first time you visit. You can't fly a Griffin the first time. You have to walk. And there's just something about approaching that bridge in the Valley of Heroes and seeing the statues. If you notice the Facebook post, I was actually a little overwhelmed doing it because the music starts. But I literally, just before I even knew what I was doing, /Neil.
You know what?
Just overwhelmed with the heroics of my alliance.
You know what I was thinking about? It's something that you said in the Morrowind podcast is like there's a sense of urgency in Oblivion. Whenever you get to the Skyrim game, I think, how did you put it? Now.
The dragon is literally circling the skies, ready to strike again.
Now, while I thought Legion was great, I did enjoy Legion.
Legion was amazing.
BFA, it started out really strong, but they're both games that when you enter that world, and especially if you use your character boost and go right to just that expansion time, I mean, you don't have any choice. The first couple of hours of your game are scripted, linear kind of action adventure type of things.
Legion starts off with you're on your way to the Broken Shore.
But in Morrowind, when you get off the Seydanine, the guy says something to you, but then you're like, all right. And you have that just casualness that the world's fine. You can go explore it and experience it. And that's what vanilla WoW does for you. There's no sense of urgency. There's
the
no
drums of war beat again, but you're just a guy.
Yeah.
You're just a guy when you start off. If you want to work I know there's been several people in this RP server that they're just crafting. They're just crafting and helping
me
out.
Included. I don't really care too much about the raids or anything like that or in-game tiers and whatnot. I really just want to get the best that I can at engineering and mining.
I do want to participate in raids. I do. I want to either make a Donoram guild or join a guild and integrate into that. And really the only thing that's upset me that people are doing in the community right now is when they're still acting like it's live. Don't shove your guild charter in my face.
Oh, I've had one person do that so far.
One time I was trying to complete a quest, and when they shoved the charter in my face, it closed out the quest window. And I actually told him he was acting rude. I said, "Hey man, like I would have probably actually signed that one off because it was the first one I got. I was like, I probably would have signed that off the jump if you had asked me before you sent that." And then he yelled he said, well, I don't want you in the guild anyway. And I whispered back to him, I was like, why are you yelling? And then he yelled again because he hurt my feelings. And he did the /sob and he ran off. And he was this dwarf.
At least he ended it on a funny note. Wow.
Right.
Anyway, if I log into BFA right now and I go into any town, I will get spammed as much as I'm getting robocalled in real life.
There's literally a menu option to turn it off.
I didn't know that.
You can turn off guild invites. Yes.
Even if they whisper it to you?
Oh, if they whisper it to you, that is what it is. That's the bad
that
one.
happens.
Yeah.
That is just a freak. As much
it's a
as I get
robocall. You said it best. Yeah.
As much as I get the little notification to accept or decline, it's a whisper is instantaneously done with it.
And that's not bad. That's just in your chat window. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like because they're flat out telling you.
It makes that little changey, chinky sound or whatnot.
They flat out tell you when they do that.
Oh, yeah.
They're flat out telling you, I don't care about you. I just want another number in the guild.
I always report them for sexual abuse every time they do that. Every time.
But everyone's been super respectful. It's just been fun. People are forming lines.
That kills me. Yes, the line forming. Can you imagine walking outside your front door right now and there's a line of people ready to beat your ass for like 5 silver? Like, what? Anyway, but it is nice. The first time that happened, like I saw them doing that, and there's one guy who was third in line. He's like, "All right, everybody, form a nice, easy line." And I kind of stood there for a second. I didn't know what to think, so I jumped in line.
Right.
But anytime someone I was watching really close. Anytime anyone hit them, cast a fireball, like just to speed things up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And now on in Elwyn, when I was leveling 1 through 10, I didn't notice so many lines I did. Like, there's 4 guys standing around, and one guy just says, real quick, with the speech bubble, you guys just want to group.
Yeah.
And we just group, and we all grab it at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
The grouping's been great, and working with people. This one guy, the gnome that was leading the party against Hogger that I was in, he started doing his dance, and he started singing All Star. And the chat, just like it was, he yelled, "Somebody once told me," and then typed out and say the rest of it. Yeah. So all of Elwyn heard. Yeah. Westfall's not bad in Classic. I tried to avoid it, but you go back and there's like a legit story of class struggle there. Like,
yeah,
we live in Westfall in real life.
Yeah.
This is Westfall.
Yeah. It always reminded me of like the Great Plains or whatnot. It's very, it's got a golden hue to it.
Right. You've got to go kind of 5 miles on the highway to get to Westfall. Cause here we're in Elwyn right now with all this green. Oh, yeah. But, it's, I don't know, man. I'm having a blast. It is a joy to play Warcraft.
I know the other night you went with me to Loch Modan, but you went back to Westfall?
So this morning when I logged on, I finished up those quests for the Trogs.
Yeah.
Nightmare. No one wanted to group. It was the one time in the game no one's wanted to group with me, right, so I just did it myself. Then I went burps. I went back to. I had Zaxby's on the way out.
Oh wow!
The Zensation sandwich, excellent. But I went to. It comes with an egg roll.
Hey.
But then I hearthed back to Goldshire because I dinged and I wanted to go to my Paladin trainer. Then
what level are you now?
I finished off at 13.
13. Wow.
That's when I had to come out here.
Yeah.
But it's no rush, man. I'm just enjoying this game.
Yeah.
And so many other people are, and it just makes it so much fun. Seeing Westfall general chat just blow up with LFG dead mines. By the way, I'm glad I went back to Westfall because you do not have to take preliminary quests to unlock the dead mines, but dungeon quests are no longer given in the dungeon. Because it's classic.
No.
You take them outside of the dungeon.
Even when we played way back in the early 2000s, it was common practice that when your group got into the dungeon, whatever said dungeon you were playing that night, we all stopped and shared every quest that we possibly could. And if you didn't have any quest, it was still worth going through because it would like push you a level.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. I mean, that's a lot of experience per hour at that point.
I can't wait to do Dead Mines as an actual group. I can't wait.
The Dead Mines are great. It's pretty. It's pretty.
It's a very linear dungeon.
It's pretty standard up until you get to the boat at the end of it. When you're in that final like 3 fights, it's actually pretty edge of your seat.
Oh yeah.
If you're not like overpowered or anything like that, it's pretty good. And don't go through it with a level 60 person. Your experience will be like super low at that point.
Right.
That power leveling thing that people advertise, it's like, all right, well, I'll run you through this dungeon like 20 times in an hour, and you would get the same experience that you do like if you ran it 5 times regularly.
It's normal and less time.
It's just less risk of dying.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. That's part of WoW, man.
Yeah. Just live your life. Violence is a part of our lives.
I just want to live while I'm alive.
Yeah, we need to experience that pain in order to, truly appreciate the good times.
Because what is life without the fear of death?
Well, that's right.
Where is the joy in life without the fear of death? Who is Batman without the Joker?
Yeah, those are good questions. I don't have those answers.
I think like the comic books always, like, I'm not a big Batman guy, but I think the comics always kind of suggest that if like Batman would just quit, the Joker would too.
So
which begs the question, why doesn't he just give up?
Here's the real big question: do we want this to be locked?
That's everyone's talking right now. Elwyn General Chat and Westfall General Chat, they're pretty much just convinced that we're going to get BC. Like they're just convinced it's going to happen.
Really?
I don't know though. Like Blizzard.
Just listen.
Lock it to Classic.
Listen to this, man.
If you don't lock it to Classic, please lock it at Wrath. Please lock it at the last patch of Wrath.
You were conflicted about that the other day.
I just want it to be Classic. I just want us to be able to experience Classic forever. But if you lock it, because honestly, now that like Shaman and Paladins are exclusive again, I don't want the other side to get this. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to walk around and see a Dwarf Shaman. I don't want a Dwarf Shaman.
It's weird.
It's weird.
That's I think even in real life, like shamans are kind of more like at the point the dwarves are, it feels like they've evolved past the shamans in their society.
Lore wise, it'd be Wildhammer dwarves.
Oh wow,
the shaman.
Okay.
Yeah. Lore wise,
but no, that's the thing. Will they stop here? Or I don't know if EverQuest does this. You mentioned, I don't think I totally understand what a progression server is, but could they have just a subset that stay at Classic, a subset that go to BC, and a subset that go to
Absolutely,
Wrath?
that's what EverQuest does. There's TLPs, time lock progression. There's locked.
Yeah.
There's just locked servers. There's, and every once in a while they just release a new one. But Classic is a whole separate game.
Right.
These TLP servers are literally just other servers you could go to that stay expansionless, or just unlocks expansions. But like, I would really like Classic just to stay Classic.
I would like the option to transfer my character. If like I got bored one year and wanted to just take my character that I've leveled to 16 Classic through Burning Crusade. That would be tight. I could do that.
But who knows? Maybe if they say Burning Crusade comes out in a year and I played all this Classic content a lot, who knows that I wouldn't want Erdrick to go on to Outland? Who knows? I might be as pumped as anyone else because I know that on EverQuest, like when Runes of Kunark open,
right?
I know like it's a legit thing. It's like, man, like you remember in the year 2000 waiting on that bridge waiting on that dock for the boat to show up to Kunark, and like all these people are sitting there talking. They're like, oh man, like who knows? Maybe we'll all be gathered around the Dark Portal waiting for that expansion to unlock. Who knows? But
just maybe. God, there's so much there in Classic.
I'm kind of mad I'm not playing it right now. I'm kind of upset that I had to come out here.
Soon. Yeah, I know. But hey, when you got to clock in, you got to clock in.
I've been timing every activity in my life to see how fast I can get it done.
Yeah.
To get back to WoW.
Wow.
Everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My wife has a party tonight that she's going to, and she was like, if I can't find a sitter, I'd like you to go. Of course I want to go, honey. I want to go out and have some fun with you.
Sure. There's that.
But she couldn't find a sitter, and my son's friend is over, and they all like to play.
Right.
And they'll actually watch the little one. So that's a lot of WoW time.
So you're not going to the party tonight?
No, we couldn't find a sitter.
Oh my God, you might hit 15.
That's a lot of WoW time.
You might hit 15 tonight.
My goal was 25 by the end of Labor Day. I'm starting to see that as a very lofty goal. I'm starting to see that. But
I'm telling you, the game takes a shift when you hit 40.
Right. I just want to get that free mount.
Yes.
I just want to get that quest mount for being a paladin.
I went by and checked prices to make sure that I knew what it was, and I've got a lot of mining to do before I get my ostrich.
The sense of achievement in Classic WoW is incredible.
I
feel proud to be level 13.
The weekend that you get your first mount, you're going to go to work, and you are just going to. I mean, there's not going to be a flaw in.
Going to be walking bow-legged.
Yeah.
Because my balls are that big.
Yeah. You'll be giving people the double guns,
and people will be like, "Hey, Beau, did you get laid?" Better.
Even better. There was a mount involved. Yeah. You're going to win those. You're going to win any card game you're playing. Mm-hmm. You're going to win any debate that you get into.
Mm-hmm. High fives.
Sun's going to shine. Summer's going to last just a little longer this year.
My son is going to go to school, and
he's going to get an A on that spelling test.
He's going to tell people, my dad got his first mount in Warcraft.
They're going to just notice. They'll see that glow, that aura, that... Yeah, Ashley's going to smile a little more.
There's a guild on our server where they're dedicated to leveling their unarmed as much as they can so they can take on Blackrock without weapons.
I usually... that's... I see that, and it's like teasing me. I want to go back and just find something that's like level 2 or 3 and just start punching it to watch that skill go up. That's what I do.
That's another thing. You get weapon skills.
Yeah, it's just like Morrowind.
It is a RPG.
Yeah.
It is a role-playing game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't remember in game if staves or wands are better, but I almost don't care. I'm gonna.
Your original gnome was a big wand guy, wasn't he?
It is so good in a pinch. If you've kept up with trying to find like wands as you level and whatnot, it doesn't use mana, so you can go through mana really fast as a mage. And if you get to that point and you've got like one kind of dinky little thing, they are attacking you, but the fact that you don't have mana makes them a threat. If you've got a wand, at least you're going to get out alive.
Auto attack actually does something for you in this. It actually does something for you. It
definitely does. In reference to wands. Now I know that you can get better stabs and whatnot, but they're a lot slower. They just aren't for me.
I'm popping off about greens. I am legit. Shouting when I get greens and drops.
They're nice.
There's, and someone posted on the subreddit today. Classic WoW is proof that boomers are the dumbest generation of all time because they say that millennials want instant gratification. Why are we all excited about Classic WoW then? Checkmate, boomers. They didn't say all that. They just said that it's proof that we don't love instant gratification, but I'm taking it as proof that every generation before us is dumb and stupid.
Kids like instant gratification.
Yeah, Gen Z.
They're going to be the new ones that don't want to wait around.
But for all the people that are, it's literally whatever generation you're in. The one below you, that's the one that's ungrateful.
They had a legitimate study over this. It said every generation hates working with the generation that comes right after them, but the generation whatever you're in loves the one right after them. So it falls right in line with grandpa being cool with like doing some stuff behind your dad's back that maybe your dad wouldn't let you do.
My dad is much more affectionate and patient with my kids than he was with me and my sibling.
My mom is pretty much ready to take Jalen to Walmart and buy a toy like every weekend that she comes by and sees her. But whenever I was little, it's like Christmas and your birthday.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is and it makes a lot of sense because a parent is raising a person. A grandparent is having fun with their grandkid.
You raise your kid so that somebody else doesn't have to.
Precisely. But enough about raising kids. Classic WoW.
We were raised right to where now we appreciate Classic WoW. My parents will be so proud.
I told my dad today that I'm level 13 now, Dad, and that's good enough. And he's like, that's how it was in my day.
If someone hasn't made this 30-year-old boomer thing, you know how they when they come over and they're looking for something to kind of give you some praise about, it's usually like, my boy takes a lot of pride in his work. Yep, he hasn't been fired this year or something like that.
Right.
That's That needs to be done for Classic WoW.
No, actually, Boomer posting Ultra posted right before Classic released. It was the 30-year-old Boomer at his computer desk, and it had the orc loading screen, the orc character screen.
Yeah.
And then on his wall, it said Slay Alliance, hit 60. And he had a case of the Monster Ultras. And it said,
my God. I didn't even know Monster Ultra was a thing.
It's the white one, the white sugar-free. That's the classic 30-year-old Boomer one.
Gotcha.
And of course, in Ellen general chat, like the whole time, it's been sip. Remember when WoW was good? And the thing about people saying that Classic was wasn't hard. You just had to earn things.
It was it can be a time sink.
It is a time commitment. It's
not. You really do need to. You need two things: dedicate the time, and you have to be willing to read that journal.
Right. Oh, and the journal. I love having to read the journal. I love walking around and having to hit L. And because you see people all the time now, pulling up their journal, and it's not always their map.
Yeah.
And I actually, my sibling had a classic WoW Atlas. Actually had the WoW Atlas when it first came out.
Oh, that's cool.
So I went and got it. It's legit helpful.
Wow.
It is legit super helpful.
Did they have a physical midnight release of this game?
No. Classic is...
You know what? As much as they were hyping this about going back, I'm not surprised they didn't have like a commemorative box set or something.
There's a 15-year box set.
They didn't have a cloth map.
No, it's better. You know how I'm a sucker for the desk mouse pad?
Oh,
they have one that's a map of Azeroth.
Wow.
I know.
It's kind of funny that our energetic reactions to World of Warcraft is wow.
I know. I've literally sounded like Owen Wilson. So wow.
Wow. Wow.
It's been ridiculous.
It has been ridiculous.
I made a leveling playlist, like for when I'm in an area that won't play music. I have it. It's Tay and Decay. Every other song is Taylor Swift and Cannibal Corpse.
Wow.
It's been fantastic. Whenever you hit you ding a level and you've just listened to Frantic Disembowelment, Teardrops on My Guitar, and then Butchered at Birth.
Yeah.
That's a moment you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah. Mine has been Boot Scoot and Boogie.
I still have my country WoW playlist.
Oh, gosh. Have you been, now that you have to read everything and or really kind of pay attention to your surroundings, are you getting any new information about the lore?
I'm getting things that I've forgotten. I'm getting things that they've sort of forgotten. Like when you go to make a mage, it tells you that the power of the mage comes from the Twisting Nether. Like magic just comes from Happy Funland now. What's the big deal?
So the thing I've been learning is that everyone wants a beer. I don't know if anybody watching has been playing a gnome or a dwarf and starting in Dunmarog, but literally the first 10 levels is beer runs for everything. They go, my brother down there, he doesn't really like to make the beer. We all do, but we don't shame him for it because he drinks our beer. Take him a cask. And you get there, and I got to this one lady who was like, "Oh, there's this Yeti. Can you go kill it?" I'm like, finally. I've done like 30 quests where I am just beer running for all these people, and she's like, "And make sure to bring back our cask of beer." I'm like, "Oh, damn it. You didn't care that it killed some of your friends. You just want that empty barrel back because barrels are kind of hard to come by around here."
Which is odd because they have plenty of trees.
And then when I'm getting toward the end and about to go to Loch Modan, of course, how do they introduce it? Well, there's more dwarfs there. I mean, egg on my face. They want you to take some beer over there so they can try.
The boys are thirsty at Loch Modan, and there's beer in Dunmarog.
Yeah, there's no. The one quest that I really liked is the what's that one in Karanos? It's Thunder Brew Inn. Anyway, so there's a town on the west of Dunmer, the name of it starts with a B. Anyway, you go there, and it's this small kind of local brewery, if you will. Mm-hmm. And they're like, Thunder Brewer, they make good ale. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they make some good stuff, but that's all they drink. They won't try anything else. Can you take one of our casks and go swap it in one of theirs? Now, hey, there's this guy down there. He really loves Thunder Brew. He's super loyal to them. So you gotta wait until he goes back upstairs to wash his glass, or I can't remember what. Anyway, when you get there, that's what he does. You're standing there and you're kind of waiting in the corner. You're at a table and you're looking at him, You've got this.
You're this gnome
You got
with
this
a gigantic
barrel.
cask of
You got this
ale.
barrel on your back, and he's like, "Oh God, Thunderbird! Oh, I love this stuff. Oh, my glass is dirty. I gotta go upstairs and wash it out." So you go over there. You empty out the Thunderbird. You put this stuff back in. He walks back down. He gets himself another pint, cause dwarf.
Right.
And he's like, "Dang, they must have switched up the recipe. This stuff is great." So you go back and you tell them, they're like, "Oh, that's great," but they send you back. They're like, "So yeah, can you go back?" And when he goes back up to wash his glass again, get us some of that Thunderbird ale and bring it back here. That is the Dune Mirage is literally.
It's literally Smokey and the Bandit the whole time.
Yes, it is. I mean, for that reason alone, it's worth playing through.
Like, I just imagine there's
But I
this.
loved not expecting it. So I'm sitting here. I've been listening to you. I've been listening to Lore Watch. I'm hearing about this crazy world that's going on, the great story that's Warcraft 3. And all my story is like, you can go get us some beer, right? Don't get caught. If you do, don't come back.
You did in WoW's defense, you kind of asked for it. You made a gnome named Milwaukee.
Oh my God.
You really asked for this. So
Yeah, I named him Milwaukee, one after the power tools, but Milwaukee's best.
Milwaukee's best, yeah. The beast.
If we make a guild, I mean, we have to.
Milwaukee's best.
But those are the moments that come organically with something like this that slows down the pacing, takes away some of the quality of life things, and makes it a little less theme parky.
It's no longer the game of Warcraft. It is,
Right.
again, the world of Warcraft.
So while there would be some points to where, yeah, we might catch up on the lore for any of the latest expansions coming out, and you and I had hella fun playing Legion for sure.
Absolutely. We both had
that
fun doing that.
Thunderbird, or sorry, that storm, that
Can't get
storm.
it out of your head.
No, I really can't. That storm, I can't wait to see how Lockman. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to getting out of a dwarf area. Anyway, role playing. Anyway, the thing where you're at the bar in Stormwind can now traverse the fourth wall into real life, and we can have those types of conversations here.
Absolutely. And it's because that never would have happened in Legion. People would have been too worried
No.
about getting higher item level or something like
just from us partying up and you and I being who we are, we had some fun moments or whatnot.
So there's a human paladin and a gnome mage running through Dune Mirage. It's me and Adam. And he's ahead because he's showing me where to go. And every once in a while, he wants to tell me something. And he literally turns around real quick and stops. And I do the taller guy thing. Whoa!
But there's you wouldn't have any stories like that with just random people. You've never like come up to me and said, "Hey, I was traveling around with these couple of guys I met in the game."
Right.
But now in Classic, you do. And that's the real magic.
Because even if you do group in retail, no one talks to each other.
No.
We were talking to each other constantly. Like, hey guys, do you need this? Do you need that? And I mean, even every once in a while, if we're camping a mob,
Yeah.
how's your day been? You know?
And you would even make
ever seen a grown man
comments
naked?
that if you would make comments that if you got into group, the only time that people actually did talk was scolding you for something.
Yeah, people are meaner than hell in retail.
Oh yeah.
But people in Classic, they want Classic to stay around so bad that they're. And another thing is, I think
They're trying. There's a legit community effort to make it a good experience.
absolutely people want
they're
you to have fun.
trying, because if they didn't do that, and if it was really quiet whenever we got in game, oh my God, it would get old quick.
And 15 years is a long time. A lot of these people understand. Some of these people are playing Classic for the first time.
Yeah.
They were children when it came out,
Right.
or they were, or what have you. Or maybe it was me, where I was 18 years old when Classic launched, but I didn't have internet where I lived. So
It's going to be interesting to see the ripple effect on how that affects RPGs, at least as a whole, because that same BFA live instant gratification theme parkiness that's in that game.
you get purple drops off of kobolds. Like, yeah.
Well, you find that in other games too, like Don was saying, the instant gratification that you could see in Skyrim. So if it starts to catch on, and that becomes what public likes, and that's what companies see is going to sell, then you might get the next couple of RPGs that are major from Bethesda or whoever else start to make you read the journal a little more.
Activision sold stock on in Blizzard went through the roof when Classic launched.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, this company has been dealing with a loss of. In fact, one of the funniest things I've seen about this is it's a fact that WoW has been steadily losing subs.
Sure.
And then it's also a fact that they shot up when Classic was imminent.
Yeah.
And so they just put that fact at the top, and then below it, it's Thanos saying, you could not live with your own failure, and where did that bring you? Right back to me. And it says, WoW Classic. Like
their next quarterly investor meeting is going to be really fun to read the meeting notes for.
Oh, absolutely, because they're going to be like, so...
Yeah.
So it turns out, no. And what's funny is the people that are defending BFA, like, what's funny is people feel like they have to defend BFA. Because nobody said Classic is replacing BFA.
No.
They're just like, Classic's available. So the fact that people are like, oh, I still like BFA,
that's fine.
No, it's pretty telling of what's going on.
Well, right.
You're scared that people are going to stop playing BFA because no one's having any goddamn fun playing it. But it's funny because the first thing was queue times, which ever since they increased realm capacity, I haven't had a queue. Have you?
No, I have. We're also playing on the RP servers, but Ryan has been reporting to me that still on some of the other servers, he does end up with a queue time. In fact, a lot of people at work, as recent as yesterday, were telling me that when they got into some of their servers, some of their queue times were still like 4 and 5 hours. But what's funny about that is that it's given Blizzard time to adjust and whatnot to make more servers to lessen those. But people seem to still be okay with it,
like because it's worth it to get in.
Weird. It's worth it to get in. But I mean, 5 hours is 5 hours, right? But these people are still staying on Discord and talking with each other through that 5 hours, and say they only have like an extra hour to play with each other. Didn't make a difference. That novelty will probably wear off, and that's why they have to make sure to get that load balancing and ride it through until the wave crests. Right. But nonetheless, it's interesting and, like you said, telling.
It's very, very telling. And the fact that this is what people want, even the people like one of the guys that rolled a character when I was one of the guys from work that rolled a character that's been playing a lot more than me. Mm-hmm. He's only 19 years old. He was 4 when Classic launched.
Sure.
So this is his first time playing, and he's Classic, and he's in love with it. I mean, he's absolutely. So it's this idea that games have to, because one of the best memes I've ever seen, it was Morrowind, Quest from Morrowind, and it's a book. It's my husband was killed, blah 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 blah. And anyway, the whole thing is telling you that you have to go out and kill 10 bears, and that's how Morrowind gave Quest. Then Oblivion. It's the guy who says, hey, these bears came in and stole my grain. Now I need you to get it back. Kill 10 bears. And then Skyrim, kill 10 bears. Like, that's the quest. Yeah. There's no, and also the idea of because we actually had a fellow comment, a wonderful comment on our Morrowind video.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he
large comment.
They left a novel, and I really enjoyed that comment because it describes Morrowind so well.
Right.
And but the fact of the matter is, the fact that game was difficult and not all builds were viable. Made the world seem more real.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do an unviable build, you could, but you had to earn that. The world was not catered to every single build.
Yeah.
Because in Skyrim, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, your character's viable. And it just makes everything feel like you haven't achieved. And the sense of it, I feel proud to have a 13th level human war paladin. I feel proud to have that. Every skill that I go back to my trainer for, it's fun to play because it just doesn't ding out of nowhere on the field,
Yeah. No, and if you don't have enough money, or if they realize that you're going to go flat broke and won't give you the thing anyway, there is a sense of satisfaction when you do go back and you do got it, and you just, I accomplished this.
Yes.
But no, back to that comment that we're talking about the same one, the super long one that was on the Morrowind part.
Yeah.
That's the thing I haven't replied back to it yet, but I almost wanted to tell him to try Classic WoW. I was like, if Morrowind's a little too large, because that was kind of the gist of it.
Right, which is understandable, by the way.
And it's if you play it without mods, it can be dated compared to modern games.
I can agree there.
Try WoW Classic.
Yes.
It's got that same pacing. You still have to read. The world's huge, but just the fact that you see somebody else that's level 8 next to you kind of gives you the sense I'm not behind. I can just keep going. I can keep going about this at my own pace.
Each continent, I looked this up the other day because someone at work asked. Each continent, Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, are each, by themselves. They're each twice as large as the island of Manhattan in scale.
Oh wow,
yes.
That's pretty big.
Yeah,
for sure.
The World of Warcraft is huge.
Oh yeah, and when you're moving at the walking pace that you have there until level 40, when you only get a 60% speed boost, it's a trudge.
And Flight Masters, there's one per zone now, buddy. One per zone.
Yeah.
Not town, not area, zone.
Yeah, and you only get like a minor boost when you're dead, though.
Unless you're Night Elf, Wisp. Wisp is awesome.
That's right. That's right.
The Wisp is a legit. For those of you that do want to cheat the game a little bit, Wisp is an excellent way to travel.
Oh my God!
Kill yourself, get to another graveyard.
I will take the 25% durability because it's only 10 minutes, and I mean, my God, I'm going to spend 10 minutes doing any selling I need to, the crafting. I just use that as a fast travel.
Yep, Wisp
for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, wife calling you?
No, I'm all good. She's just talking.
Gotcha.
The sun goes down at 7:19 today.
It has been steadily getting shorter days.
The only problem I've really had with playing WoW is I'm always on at night, so I haven't gotten to see the world at day. But I got to see it this morning, and Adam, gorgeous.
This week of work has been crazy. I haven't been given it enough time lately, but I hope the next week, and definitely when I'm on my term break, to get to play a little more. If I can keep myself away from Fire Emblem.
I'm hating hearing the Fire Emblem music right now because it's so tempting to go by Walmart. I don't know if it's
picking up in the background, but Luke and Don are playing it in the other room.
It seems like a hell of a lot.
And not only that, I do got to get a little deep into WoW to kind of kill my bug for it, because September's a huge month for me. Dragon Quest and the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, Planescape, and Icewind Dale. I'm excited. I've never beat them.
Well then, yeah, I get that.
They've also got multiplayer.
Are you getting them for the Switch?
Oh yeah, the Switch versions apparently refined some of the co-op stuff, and me and Don went through Diablo 3 and just had a blast. It was like
you guys said
spiritual successor to Gauntlet Legends for us.
It was fantastic.
And just the experience,
right?
But if that same kind of fun element comes out in those games, it's going to be really, really cool. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else really on WoW that I can think of.
Please play it. Please play Classic. Go roll a tune. Just look at the populations on the server. It doesn't have to be a long queue time for you.
Yeah.
Just if you haven't made one yet, make one, and you be the guy that tells your friends where to go. It's just play it. It is such a rewarding experience.
Yeah.
It's the most rewarding video game experience I've had in 10 years.
We'll probably do a follow-up on this one, because I am so excited to just not only know my own reactions, but to hear yours like 3 months from now.
I do want to go and redo some certain other podcasts. Like I want to redo the Blizzard Alignment one now.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them that we have from back then. We'll do our HD remake.
Right.
It'll be good time.
Enhanced edition.
Yeah. Anyway, have fun playing, and make sure to subscribe, like this if you like hearing us rant about our experiences in these new games. Stay tuned. We're gonna be doing some more game reviews. We've got a whole line of those coming up.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're gonna try and make those a regular Wednesday thing, just to kind of add some content to our week. And other than that, have a wonderful week, and have a great time in the world of Warcraft.
Warcraft.
Thank you.